Hello and welcome to my fifth chess analysis. Today we're going to be covering an over-the-board game played between myself and my friend Volt. In this game, there was no time limit, and I was actually winning for a while, but in the end I messed up and Volt was able to draw against me. Pretty exciting, and it came down to the wire, really, at the end. Alright, let's get right into the video.
Alright, getting right into the game after a Queen's Pawn game. I'm immediately taken out of my preparation. I really don't know what to do at this point in terms of preparation, so I just start playing moves that I think make sense and that are going to just develop me naturally. Here, instead of developing my inner pieces, I move my pawn. Probably should have just continued to develop normally, but I was thinking about making that c5 pawn push, break up in the center. Here I make a mistake because, as you can see, this is not a good move because p takes. This actually leads to me hanging my knight, which would have put me in a really bad position if people saw that. But luckily, he just decides that he doesn't want to train the bishops and moves the bishop to the side, which luckily for me, I didn't see that. And again, another reason why I analyze these games is I didn't see that till the analyzation. So anyway, I continue to develop my pieces. Castle, he castles. And at this point, I decide to trade the dark square bishops. All my pawns are on light squares, and all of his are on dark squares. So that dark square bishop isn't really going to be doing me a lot of good, and his dark square bishop is going to be able to see through a lot of my pawn structure. So that's why I decided to trade it. Here, after taking his dark square bishop, he takes with a knight, which allows me to trade my bishop for his rook, letting me be up the exchange. Here I push to start to chip away at his center with c5. He takes, I take back. I develop my knight, bring it more into the center and bring it off the back rank. Also, this move lets me be able to play rook b8 as to target his weak pawn on b2. After his pawn push, I see that I can target the bishop, and what I was going for is I was thinking, I can trade the bishop, it'll be check, he's going to have to recapture or move his king, and then that's going to give me enough time where, like, after that, I can decide to take back, or if he decides to take on the d-file, I can take back with my knight, and then his bishop isn't going to be there. And I feel like even though I might have an isolated c-pawn, that this would still be better for me. I'd weaken the structure from his king, but he doesn't go for that. He moves his bishop back, so I take the free chow on b2. Offers me a rook trade, I take it. Here I miss the opportunity for free chow because that pawn is being attacked with two of my pieces and only defended with one of his. Instead, I push the pawn in the center, trying to, again, just weaken the center more. He moves his queen here, which I'm more than happy to trade queens and then move my rook to the open file. I definitely think that this gave me the advantage, or still lets me have the advantage still. He has 3 minor pieces, I have 2 minor pieces and a rook. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Bring my rook again into the 7th rank and be able to infiltrate and start to wreak some havoc. In this position, after looking at the game and thinking about it, I definitely should have probably taken the c-pawn instead of the a-pawn. I feel like that would have been more advantageous for me in the long run after looking how things played out. Now here, another thing I missed is that even though I remember this seemingly in the next couple of moves, his bishop is pinned to his king, so that pawn right there is just up for grabs, but I don't take it. Instead, what I decide to do is when I eventually do take it and then he threatens my rook is I completely forget how knights work and just let him take my rook back. And for, again, as you can see here, for 2 moves I just completely I guess I was thinking about something else, trying to get his bishop off the board, but I literally just straight hang, or not hang, but exchange my rook for his knight. So in this position, 2 minor pieces versus 2 minor pieces, I'm still up because I have more pawns than him solid together on the king side, and I have that outside pass pawn. So right now my strategy is to push this pawn and try to promote. Here I got overconfident in my ability to go to an endgame, so I decided to push the pawn, letting him trade basically his knight for my outside pass pawn and my knight, which is obviously a bad trade, but I was just really kind of overconfident in my ability to win this end game. I felt that even though he does have the bishop and I have the knight in the end game, that my 4 pawns would suffice. Here I decided to take because now he just has 2 isolated pawns that are not passed, and I feel like this would have been hard to defend. So as I start moving my king into the game, and so does he, I decided that, I felt like I had a pretty good, I felt that I could still win this and pull it out if I trade down, because I was counting in my head like, all right, I can get to his pawn, try to get my king in front of it so that he can't get to the corner, and then win down the H file. But I wound up here. I should check the king and continued to defend the pawn and play on from here. But I just wasn't in the right mindset. I was like, all right, and I just frankly miscounted, because this game ends in a draw because he's able to get his king into the corner, and then I'm just going to be unable to promote. So here, after a couple moves, we agreed to a draw. So at the end of the game, this game really came down to the me being too overconfident in my end game, not counting correctly, and going from a winning position, trying to simplify down too much several different times where I was giving up stuff, and eventually led into a position where my opponent was able to take a losing game into a draw, which was very good on him. He is just tremendously improving in chess as we go on, and it's very fun to play him. And this, my friend is also going to be the guy that's going to be providing the beats for my videos in the future. So I'm excited to work with him with that, and he loves playing chess, and I love playing chess too. So hopefully we'll have some more good games in the future.